This is part 3. The part 3 is going to discuss the treadmill, Cardiolite, or the treadmill. Basically, you do the same setup. So you come up here, remember to click on this, or you can click down here on this button right here. For new test, you get up here. You remember the previous selection process. I'm just going to put test. So I've got test, and then I hit select. Then when I come into this first screen, the selection will be a little bit different. I come up here, and the first tab, you see these are the tabs on the top. I come up here to the first tab, and I'm going to hit, I'm going to come up, scroll up, and I'm going to do Bruce. And then over here, we hit the location again. We go up to test the second tab up here. See the cursor, hit that, and we come down here for reason. We do chest pain, you can type in a reason as well. Then over here, test type. We're going to go down and let's make it a treadmill nuclear. Now if it were just a plain treadmill, you could do just a plain treadmill. We all remember the ordering physician. You can do drop downs, the person that's doing the test. Remember the order entry number, and then we go ahead and come over here and hit OK. The order entry number is that epic number that we talked about. We can hit OK. We get this screen right here. Now if you've already set up for a treadmill and then you want to change it to a Lexi, you can always come up here to this button up here after you've gotten that far, and then highlight this, click it, and then it gives you that previous screen that you were just in. You can change it and it'll stay changed. So we're in this area, and then you want to get ready to start the test. You come down here and you're looking at pre-test right here. Get the focus there. So we get to the pre-test right here, this button here that shows somebody laying on a bed. When we hit pre-test, then we've gone to pre-test up here. We can come down here to blood pressure, and we get blood pressure up here. We can enter the blood pressure. You can either hit the enter button on the keyboard or use your mouse to select that. If they're having any symptoms prior to the test, like they've got a headache or something like that, you can hit comments and then type in whatever you want or choose whatever you want down here. Let's say they've got a little bit of fatigue prior to the test. You can do that, hit enter, it puts it in the timestamp. Then we've gone ahead and done, we're in pre-test here, so we can go down here and we can hit 12 lead, we print that out, we tear it off, and then we print it out again. So then on the treadmill, we have to do a standing as well, because you can see it says supine down there. So we come down to pre-test again, and we hit it one more time, and when we hit pre-test, it goes from supine, as you can see that it says standing. So then you go ahead and you hit the blood pressure again, you have them stand up, you hook the belt on, and you can hit enter and enter the blood pressure. Then you're in the standing episode. Now if for some chance when you're putting this on, there's buttons on the front here, by accident if you hit one of those buttons, you'll do a continuous feed on this thing right here. If it's on continuous feed, there is a stop image writer. You wait until it reaches toward the end of one of these strips, and then you hit the stop image. It'll stop it right then. It'll pick up where it leaves off if it ends up stopping part way into the middle. It'll give you a blank sheet for the rest of it when it starts the next one. So then when you're getting ready to start on the treadmill, if they don't know how to start on the treadmill, if they're not good on treadmills, you can come down here to pre-test. See pre-test right here. You hit pre-test again, and when you get something called, it says hyperventilate down there. So you see where it says hyperventilate. Now if I hit pre-test again, you can see it'll switch to warm-up. Now when it's in warm-up, it'll start the treadmill off very slow and flat. So then when they're ready to start, they're up on the treadmill, putting their hands on the side, you get the blood pressure cuff hooked up, nuclear medicine's hooked up and ready. You come over here and you hit start treadmill. When you hit start treadmill, you can see it starts off very slow and flat. It's only going at about 1 mile an hour. They walked on that for a few seconds and they're ready to go. Their test hasn't started yet. You can come up here to test, and when you hit test, it goes ahead and comes up. You can see here that it says stage 1 and that it says the test has started. So then when you reach your target heart rate, when you're getting about 5 or 10 beats away, you go ahead and hit comment, and you can go ahead and select here contrast administered, and as long as you don't hit enter, it doesn't get on a timestamp. So then when nuclear medicine says that they've injected because you've reached your goal, then you go ahead and you hit enter, and then you come down here and hit recall. Recall will print out a 12 lead that's on top of each other so that you have a timestamp to show when you reached your target heart rate. Then you wait until they say that they can't go any farther or it's getting to be too much, and you can get ready to stop it. But remember, every 2 minutes there'll be a screen pops up that'll show that you need to take your blood pressure. Put it in. You want to, every 2 minutes during recovery and during both sets of all the kinds of tests, you want to try to put in a blood pressure. So they've they've given the nuclear dose. They go for a few more minutes. They've reached their target heart rate. When they reach their target heart rate and then they say they're getting a little too tired, you can come over here to the recovery button and it will slow it down, and it'll also drop in how far it goes down. When it does that, you'll see recovery up here, and then you come down to this button here where it says stop treadmill, and I'll hit that and it'll stop the treadmill. You want to get a quick blood pressure and then get them on the bed. Now if you have an emergency during the whole process, you remember you can press that button, it'll stop the treadmill really fast. Then you're going to press it down and turn it clockwise to get it to pop back up if you have to press that. Then they're in recovery now. You're recovering for 5 minutes or however long it takes to get their chest pain to go away or get their blood pressure down to normal. During that process, you'll be entering any comments if they have any pain or discomfort or any problems like that, and then putting in your blood pressures. When you reach the end of the test, you can go ahead and hit test end, and you get a strip about every 2 minutes. If you see something pop up that you want to catch, remember you can hit recall and you can catch it. Now if you have to step away from the machine to do something, or if while you're taking the blood pressure, if you hit arrhythmia doc, it'll pop up down here, it'll say arrhythmia doc, and if it sees any dysrhythmias or ectopics, it'll print them out for you so you don't have to try to catch it. So, and then if you don't want it to print out a whole bunch of stuff, you hit arrhythmia doc again and you can see that it goes away from down here at the bottom, because it'll also print out any artifacts that you have. So then when you get to the end of the test, you hit test end and hit it twice. Remember, you hit it up here and then you hit it again, you get to the screen. Now for this one, you pick what reason they stopped for. You know, it could have been leg cramping, it could have been fatigue. We'll put fatigue. And then over here for Duke score, let's say they had a little chest pain, it was non-limiting though, that isn't why we stopped. And chest pain non-limiting, we put that there too. Then for down here, if you had a lot of ectopics, you can put down what type of ectopics. And then for if they're walking on the treadmill, then you're going to hit the Duke score over here. When you hit that, you're going to hit change, and then you come over here to calculate, and you hit calculate. After that, you're going to hit OK. Then you're back to this screen. You entered a Duke score. You can hit OK over here. So when you've done that, you come over here and you do the print, and you can come down here and print it out just like you did before. It'll add other data that you didn't see in the previous test. So then you've entered that all there. And the next step will be to transfer it over in Muse, and I'll cover that in just a second here. So now remember, when I want to transfer to Muse, I come up to this button right here and I'll get to my original screen. Then I go to the picture of the file because I want to file it away in Muse. I hit file. I remember I pick anything over here and then I hit select. That'll bring me over here. I select today's date first. I'll go over here and I'll select all. Then you actually have to highlight one of the ones to transfer it over to Muse. You hit transfer to Muse and then you hit save. In the previous video I forgot to select, so I'm not going to send it over, but because it was a test, but that's how you do that.